Hello and welcome back to your Pennsylvania Dutch Minute. Doug here with a brand new video. I had a great email come in this week asking about how does the Pennsylvania Dutch language handle new inventions? What do we do? What do you do with new verbs? So when something's invented and a new word has to be created, what does the Pennsylvania Dutch language do? And it's really a great question. You know, languages are these living entities, and any language has to create new words when new things are invented, new names for things. One of the problems with Pennsylvania Dutch is, when you compare it, the person in the email also asked, well, Germans in Germany created new words in the German language. Did the Pennsylvania Dutch, borrow those, or did they create their own, etc.? And it's really, something that's kind of interesting about the Pennsylvania Dutch, since we were so isolated, especially from the fatherland, from Germany, where we had immigrated hundreds of years before, as new things like the car was invented and radio and television, Germany was creating new words in the German language for those inventions, but we were cut off from that. So a lot of times, in all honesty, the Pennsylvania Dutch would just use the English word. That was the dominant language outside of our language island. And of course, as new things were invented, like radio, like television, a lot of times our language just took the English word and started using it. It makes sense. However, there were some people that did create Pennsylvania Dutch words for these new inventions as well. It didn't spread as easily. These new terms didn't spread because, think about it, we're talking the 1930s, 1940s when some of these things are invented. There was no internet. There was no social media. So if some guy in his living room in eastern Berks County comes up with a great word for radio, and he might tell his friends, I'm going to start calling it this. How does that word get spread? And, at that time period, it was extremely difficult to spread these new ideas, minus some of the few newspapers that were running Pennsylvania Dutch columns. But really, it was difficult. Today, it's so easy. Like, if I wanted to create a Pennsylvania Dutch word, and I could post a video about it, and 7,000 subscribers on YouTube are automatically going to hear this new word that I've created. They can decide if they're going to use it or not. But that's how easy it could spread today. Where back in the day, it was a lot more difficult. So I decided for this video, I took, I think 5 or 6 technological advances, inventions, and I'm going to show you the English, the Pennsylvania Dutch, and the standard German to kind of show you what the Germans did too, even though we're not saying that any of this is related to German, because these were all words that were created in Germany, quite distantly from us here in Pennsylvania. But I just wanted to show that because I teach German, and it's a way for me to practice my German as well. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start with the word for airplane. Again, the vast majority of Pennsylvania Dutch speakers would just use the word airplane. However, there is a Pennsylvania Dutch word. It's S Luftschiff, which literally translates into airship, an airship. The standard German word is das Flugzeug. So as you can see, there's no relationship there between the Pennsylvania Dutch word that was created in the standard German word Flugzeug, es Luftschiff. Again, if you ask the average Pennsylvania Dutch speaker, they're probably going to say, "Oh, I just say airplane." But there is the word Luftschiff. I like the word Luftschiff. It's a neat word. Telephone, I have never heard a Pennsylvania Dutch word for telephone other than the English word telephone. Even the standard German word is das Telefon. If you know of a Pennsylvania Dutch word, or if you've heard a Pennsylvania Dutch word for telephone other than telephone, please put it in the comment section down below because I'm curious. The word for automobile or car, I think this is a regional difference, or maybe just a family difference too. Growing up where I did in northern Berks County, and all of my family, we tended to use the word die machine, which you can tell comes from the English machine. There is also the Pennsylvania Dutch word der Car, which you just take the word car and put a K in front of it essentially. I have never heard anything other than these 2 words. If you heard one, again, put it in the comment sections. And the German word, the standard German word, is das Auto. If you remember the Volkswagen commercials from a couple years ago, that'll sound familiar. Radio. Again, the vast majority of Pennsylvania Dutch speakers probably just use the English word radio. However, there is a Pennsylvania Dutch word that I'm familiar with, da Schwätzkaste, which I absolutely love this word because it literally translates into talking chest or talking box. I just think that is a great word. It's visual, but a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch speakers might also just use the word radio. The standard German word is das Radio. Use Schwätzkaste, though. I think that's a great word. Television. Again, a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch speakers would just say TV, probably pronouncing, they have a thick accent, pronouncing their V like a W. Why, it's on the TV tonight. But there is the word die Guckbox, which I really like. Die Guckbox literally translates into looking box, or box that you look at, which, of course, nowadays TVs aren't boxes anymore. We're going to have to come up with a word for flat screen. We'll have to work on that. And the standard German word is der Fernseher. Der Fernseher. And finally, I chose the word computer. Again, the vast majority of Pennsylvania speakers would probably just use the English word computer or laptop or tablet. However, and I think that Dick Beam coined this word, da Waterfresser, which I really like. It translates into word eater, something that eats words, which I think is a really neat visual for what a computer does, or at least did back in the day. The standard German word is der Computer, so even the Germans go with more of a, like what we're used to in the English language. So there's just a couple of words I came up with. Well, I didn't come up with, but I wanted to share with you guys today. You can choose to use the Pennsylvania Dutch terms that I gave you. Of course, you can also just use the English terms too, because it'll be completely intelligible to anybody speaking Pennsylvania Dutch. If you have a Pennsylvania Dutch word that you heard from somebody somewhere for any one of those things that's different from what I put, please put it in the comment section down below. We can all build our vocabulary together. I think it's fascinating we start looking at those types of things. If you have an idea for a future video or a question, please email me. My email is at the end of the video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet. That way you get a notification every time a new video comes out. And if you would like to support me financially in the endeavors that we're doing here at our channel and the other various Pennsylvania Dutch things that I'm doing through my website and my podcast, you can click the link in the comment section down below called Buy Me a Coffee, and you can support me that way financially. And I greatly appreciate any support that all of you wonderful people have shared in the past and that continue to share now. Until next time, keep practicing your Pennsylvania Dutch, stay curious, be proud of your Pennsylvania Dutch heritage and culture, and Max gut.
Max gut!